What's up, everybody? As you can tell from the title, it's time for my WWE Draft 2010 Draft Predictions. And yeah, before we start, subscribe and follow me on Twitter. And don't forget, if you haven't checked out, I also put out my Extreme Rules predictions. So go check it out on my channel, or just click the little thing up there. It'll show you. Alright, so now 2010 WWE Draft. Now this is the time when WWE tries to shake up their rosters. And okay, so here's the thing. The draft is in a lot of people's book also known as the Rape SmackDown episode of Raw. Because basically every year SmackDown gets raped, especially last year. And that's a huge mistake. Now, I think this is going to be the first year where it's going to be a SmackDown draft. SmackDown is going to get the benefit. And that's for a couple reasons. Mostly because SmackDown seems to be lacking something, and I think this year that you're going to try and give SmackDown the push. Also, because if you remember back in 2008 when it was announced that SmackDown's moving to My Network TV, WWE really wanted to put some strong talent on the show, and basically that's why they put like Jeff Hardy, Triple H, and they put Jim Ross on the show back in 2008 to really set up for the My Network switch. So this year SmackDown's moving to Sci-Fi, and you got to believe that they're going to try and put some top tier stars on SmackDown. Alright, so let's start off with who I think is going to go to Monday Night Raw. Now the unfortunate thing about this is there's a lot of good talent on SmackDown, and it's really hard to come up with a list. Now I picked 6 people from SmackDown to move to Raw. The problem is Raw has a lot of politics, okay? Vince McMahon really concentrates on Raw, and it's like so political. Everything is, if you're not good with Triple H, if you're not good with like John Cena, you're gonna be in trouble. Your career is basically gonna be stuck in limbo. You're just not moving anywhere. So that's why it's really hard to pick who's gonna move to Raw. Also, because I don't really want to see anybody from SmackDown move to Raw. But I came up with 6 people, so here we go. First, Batista. Batista's basically a Raw superstar now, and this is why the draft is kind of dumb in a way, because it doesn't matter who's on whose show. Whenever WWE feels like it, they'll just move someone over from a show, and that's stupid. But I do think Batista is going to be official that he's going to be on Raw for as long as he's going to be in the WWE, because he hasn't signed a new contract. His contract expires this summer. I think Chris Jericho is going to move to Raw after their match at Extreme Rules between Edge and Jericho. I think they're going to split it up. Raw basically needs another heel besides Batista, another top heel. So I think Chris Jericho is moving over to Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre, the chosen one, the one that Vince McMahon hand chose to be a future World Heavyweight Champion. Alright, Crime Time will be split up. I believe the bigger man, Shad Gaspard, is going to move over to Monday Night Raw. I could see it being JTG, but I think that would be a wasted move, as JTG is not really, I don't think he can hang on Raw. I think Shad Gaspard is much more, capable of staying on Raw. So I think Shad is going to move to Raw. John Morrison, unfortunately, what a great wrestler. Man, I hope they do something with him if they move him to Raw, because he cannot be another one of WWE's wasted talents. It just cannot happen. So I think John Morrison is going to move to Raw and get a push, because he's not really doing much right now. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I do believe, like 2008, we're going to see a little announcer shakeup. And if that happens, I believe there's only really one way that WWE is going to go with it. I think Matt Striker is going to move over to Monday Night Raw and be annoying at times. Because really, I know a lot of people like Matt Striker, but sometimes he just gets on my nerves, and I can't stand watching him. But I think he's going to move over to Monday Night Raw. Matt Striker, his announcing is definitely good at times when he's not going overboard and just too far out of the way trying to prove points. I think his announcing is okay, and he's going to move over to Monday Night Raw, and those are the 6 people who I think are moving to Monday Night Raw. Now, moving over to SmackDown, it's easier and harder in a way, because I see some people who I definitely think are going to move, but then there's a couple people who I'm not too sure of. Right? Randy Orton, I think he's definitely moving to SmackDown. I think having Jack Swagger lose to him twice, and then having him face Jack Swagger at Extreme Rules for the SmackDown Heavyweight Championship, I think that that's WWE's way of justifying Randy Orton's move to SmackDown in a smart way. Okay, and then I picked The Miz to move to SmackDown, so he's going to bring the United States Championship over to SmackDown. The Miz is a guy who is awesome on the mic, and basically he can bring personality to SmackDown. SmackDown doesn't really have a lot of personality in it. And The Miz definitely great on the mic, and get people to hate him at any point in any one of his promos. And I think he can be a future World Heavyweight Champion actually within this year if he moves to SmackDown, not so much on Raw. Christian needs to move over to SmackDown, absolutely. Christian is just way too talented and way too good all around to stay on Raw, and it's unfair. If he doesn't move to SmackDown, it's going to be so stupid because he's not doing anything, and it's just a waste. Alright, I think Jerry Lawler is going to move to SmackDown. If this happens, if the announcers switch, it's going to be Jerry Lawler moving to SmackDown to fill the role of the color commentator. Although somebody was suggesting that Matt Striker and Michael Cole would switch, and Matt Striker would become the new play-by-play for Raw. That would be pretty interesting to see, but we'll have to see about that. Kofi Kingston needs to move to SmackDown. Another one of WWE's failed pushes that they had with Kofi Kingston. Obviously, a lot of people saying because Randy Orton got mad that one match where Kofi Kingston botched the finish, but we'll see. I think Kofi Kingston can do well on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes, we haven't seen him in a while. Ted DiBiase's doing his little thing, at least trying to get something started on Raw. I think Cody Rhodes moving to SmackDown is smart, and it's been rumored a long time, since I think back in February, that Sheamus is going to move to SmackDown, and that would work. I think another heel to replace Chris Jericho, that would work with Sheamus on SmackDown. Makes sense. Alright, and so I think really if you look at that list, SmackDown gets the better of it. But I don't know. I don't know. So my Monday Night Raw review is going to be a little different. This week I'm going to do a live reactions to the draft. So we'll see. No guest host also. Yes. Alright, and we'll see. And also, I think Divas are going to move, but it's a little difficult to see who's going to move from SmackDown to Raw. I think if anyone moves from Raw to SmackDown, it's going to be like, probably like, I don't know. Actually, I don't really know who would move. Maybe Rosa Mendez or Alicia Fox, somebody. Alright, now also, before we go, I want to give you a couple of outliers. Now, I've been watching a lot of draft prediction videos, actually, and there have been some wild predictions. I heard from one person that John Cena might move to SmackDown. I could not see that ever happening. It would be great for John Cena to move to SmackDown, but and turn heel possibly, or even go back to his old rapping gimmick. Because right now, John Cena, everybody really hates him. Well, most people hate him. Don't see that happening. John Cena is the baby face of the WWE. He is the poster child of WWE. He's not moving off the flagship brand. Undertaker moving to Monday Night Raw. Possible. Very possible. I could totally see this happening. Undertaker has been on SmackDown basically since the draft. He's never been on Raw basically since they started the draft lottery back in 2002. Undertaker has been a SmackDown superstar, I believe. And so it could happen. I don't know. I'm not going to say no for sure, but I definitely do think it can happen. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to happen. It could, but I don't think so. Triple H moving to SmackDown. Nope. No chance in hell. He does move back from Raw. He moved to SmackDown in 2008, moved to Raw 2009. I don't think they're going to switch him around again. CM Punk moving to Raw. I don't think so, but again, it's possible. I mean, they could have chose Chris Jericho to be in that promo against Triple H on Monday Night Raw this past week, but they chose CM Punk, so I don't know. I definitely see CM Punk possibly moving to Raw, actually. That's a good possibility. But then he would have to get Luke Gallows and Serena over there. Actually, that might happen. We'll see. I might have to add him to my draft to Raw. We'll see. Edge moving to Raw. If Chris Jericho moves, Edge is not going to move. It could be vice versa, where Edge moves to Raw and Chris Jericho stays on SmackDown, but they're not both going to move. Also, there's a supplemental draft on Wednesday, so any of these outliers could happen, but usually it's the mid-card that changes on the supplemental draft. We'll see. So those are my predictions. I want you guys to tell me who you think is going to move down there. Leave a video response if you can. If you can't, go ahead and leave a text comment. Tell me what you think is going to happen on Monday night. Alright, stay tuned for the live reaction video to the 2010 WWE Draft on Monday. And stay tuned to all my footage from Extreme Rules. Can't wait. I'm so excited for that pay-per-view. Don't forget my Extreme Rules prediction video is up, so go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with my SmackDown review. Peace out.